You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up thinking the world's gone sideways, and then, just for fun, the universe decides to double down? Well, picture this. It's 4:17 in the blue fog of dawn. I'm in my boxers, and someone's pounding on my metal gate like they're raiding the Alamo. And not just pounding, screaming, too, with the kind of unhinged, coffee-fueled rage that makes you wonder if maybe you ought to call 911 on yourself just to get ahead of the paperwork. You know what I mean. So there I am, squinting out the window at a line of headlights stacked down my mountain driveway, SUVs, vans, a charter bus, and for reasons I'll never understand, one guy on an ATV doing lazy circles in the fog like he's waiting for a parade that's never going to start. And right at the gate, pressed up like a rabid raccoon, is Karen, the living embodiment of every HOA horror story you've ever heard. Her hair's perfect, her cardigan starched, and her voice? I swear, it could crack granite. She's screaming that my cabin has been reserved by her HOA committee for a 70-person mountain retreat, and I've got exactly 60 seconds to hand over the key before she calls every authority she can think of, including, and I quote, the Forest Eagle Protection Division. Yeah, I'm still not sure that one's real, but she said it with so much conviction, I halfway expected some guy in a Smokey Bear hat to pop out of the trees and write me a ticket. I stumble outside, half awake, and before I can even open my mouth, Karen's waving a stack of printouts in my face and ranting about emergency hospitality clauses and legally binding community contracts. Never mind, we're a good 10 miles from the nearest HOA boundary, and none of those folks have any authority up here. But Karen, bless her delusional heart, truly believes her HOA title extends beyond fences, county lines, and basic reality. Now, here's where things get weird. Behind her, I see her event assistant, a nervous guy with a glittery sash and a clipboard trying to keep a straight face as he explains they need to unload enlightenment spheres, detox crates, and some sort of glowing beach ball that honestly just looks like a sad party prop from Walmart. Karen snaps at him for talking out of turn, spins on her heels, and declares, in front of all 70 people, that I'm obstructing the spiritual development of the community, and she's about to handle this with executive force. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. And right then, a bus driver leans out his window, looking like he regrets every life choice that led him here, and tells me Karen promised him triple pay if he could make it up the mountain. He got nothing. The engine's overheating, the crowd's getting hungry, and some guy's yelling about how he was promised pancakes made from heirloom mountain flour. Folks, I've lived here 15 years, and I've never seen an heirloom pancake, but Karen's got pictures, brochures, the whole 9 yards. Turns out, she made up an entire luxury retreat, right down to the complimentary chef who, according to her, is a parent lime. So I tell her, firmly but polite, as my dad taught me, that any attempt to force the gate is trespassing, that my property lines are clearly marked, and that her authority ended the minute her GPS said recalculating. And that's when the cracks start to show. A couple guests sneak over and quietly ask if any of this is legit. I tell them the truth. Karen made the whole thing up. You can see the horror in their eyes. Some start whispering, a few get on their phones, and I realize this whole disaster is about to unravel faster than Karen can spell hospitality clause. But does Karen back down? Oh no. She doubles down, clapping her hands, rallying her troops, and climbing on top of a crate labeled Enlightenment Sphere Components, wobbling in her ballet flats, delivering a speech about spiritual unity and accusing me, the actual property owner, of sabotaging her vision. She claims the Mountain Homeowners Association approved this event 6 months ago, never mind it doesn't exist. When someone asks for proof, she blames a suspicious email deletion, probably, she says, caused by my negative energy. The murmurs turn into open dissent. The ATV guy is still stuck between two boulders. A woman in a crystal jacket begs me to let her sprinkle sage on the driveway to purify the sunrise, and the glittery assistant is taking side bets on how long before the bus leaves. Someone shouts they want their money back. Another guy complains he drove 3 hours for tranquility, not a full-contact HOA drama at dawn. Karen, red-faced and sweating, announces she's filing a complaint with the county permitting office. I remind her it's 4 a.m. and the county office doesn't do emergency retreat interventions. She accuses me of illegal activities, which, far as I know, does not include standing on your own porch in your own pajamas. Then, just as the chaos boils over, Karen launches her mountain squatters protocol, her words, not mine, claiming she has temporary rights because she brought a crowd. People start laughing, the drone kid flies his camera straight into a tree, and Karen's speech falls apart as her followers start packing up. That's when the bus driver kills the engine, folks start calling their spouses, and Karen's last hold on the crowd slips. But she doesn't give up, she just gets meaner. She swings back to me, eyes wild, and demands I let her in for just 1 hour, says she'll guarantee no complaints if I cooperate. I laugh, loud, maybe a little mean, and the sound of it seems to finally break the spell. Someone in the crowd yells that they're leaving, another shouts he's unfollowing her Facebook page, and the rest start heading for their cars. But Karen's not done. Oh no. She grabs a tie iron from her SUV, marches back to the gate, and starts wailing on the bars, screaming about spiritual justice and accusing me of crimes against the universe. The sheriff, Dalton, poor guy, he's seen Karen's kind of crazy before, shows up just as Karen's standing on the folding table, waving flyers about reclaiming the mountain for the people, and hollering through a megaphone that the law itself can't stop her. Dalton tries to talk her down, but Karen's lost in her own show, declaring citizens' repossession, accusing me of brainwashing the crowd, telling anyone who will listen that private gates are an illusion created by selfishness. She swings the tie iron again, nearly beans herself, and finally Dalton has to step in, disarm her, and threaten to haul her off if she doesn't stop. Here's the twist nobody saw coming. The moment Karen realizes nobody's backing her up, nobody's filming, nobody's even defending her on principle. Her followers are gone. The glittery assistant quietly packs up his van, the drone kid's digging his broken quadcopter out of a bush, and Karen is just alone. Really, truly alone. She starts sobbing, loud, messy, dramatic, the kind of crying you'd expect from someone who just lost their crown on live TV. Dalton, bless his tired heart, tells her to get up and go home. Karen refuses, crawls toward her SUV, tries to climb in, then accidentally leans on the horn, so hard the sound echoes down the whole mountain. The last folks packing up their gear look back, shake their heads and peel out, leaving Karen standing in the dirt, wild-eyed, covered in dust, pointing at me and declaring that none of this would have happened if I'd just cooperated like a reasonable person at 4 a.m. I tell her again, nothing about this is reasonable, not her imaginary division, not her squatter's protocol, not her cosmic gate code. And finally, the glittery assistant walks over, gives her a long, sad look, and says, Karen, no one here believes you anymore. And for the first time all morning, she's speechless. And that's when Karen does the only thing she has left. She bolts. Not to her car, not down the driveway, but straight into the forest, disappearing into the trees like some kind of feral HOA legend, leaving behind her busted tie iron, her flyers, her failed revolution, and a crowd of people who, believe me, will be telling the story at every neighborhood barbecue from now until the sun burns out. So yeah, that's how my morning went. And the lesson? Maybe it's that some folks, no matter how loudly they shout about community, are really just looking for a stage, not a solution. Or maybe the real question is, when someone draws a line at your gate, how far would you go to hold it? Drop your wildest HOA or Karen encounter in the comments, and tell me, where do you draw your line between hospitality and standing your ground? Smash that subscribe, share your story, and let's debate, because up here in the mountains, the only thing more dangerous than a bear at dawn is a determined Karen with a clipboard. 17.